This is outrageous that you're not allowing senators to have their fair say before a controversial nominee is being done. This is unbelievable. This is unjust. This is wrong.
Republicans in the Senate are absolutely trying to railroad the worst of the worst through of Donald Trump's nominees. This Emil Bove III is a vile character, a former lawyer of Donald Trump who has worked now in the Justice Department and told in meetings, allegedly, just told him, yeah, you know what, fuck the courts, fuck the judges. We're not going to listen to them. And yesterday, his nomination was forced through committee, breaking the rules of the committee in such an egregious manner that Democrats just got up and left during the vote. Debate wasn't even over when Chuck Grassley, the screen, get off my lawn. I don't know what it is when you turn 95 years old or however old he is. He's in his 90s. He's in his mid to late 90s. That whether you just become the meme, you become the stereotype of a guy who he just yells all the time. It's very, very strange. Let me read a couple of paragraphs from this New York Times article first to give you the kind of the lay of the land about who this guy is, this Bove guy. And then I'm going to play two clips for you. And one, I want you to take away with the thing that I've been screaming about, literally screaming about for months and months and months, about when are Democrats going to stop trying to act like this old political order of my good friend across the aisle and the honorable gentleman or the honorable gentle lady from wherever. We need to stop with this. Republicans are not partners in governance. They are agents of chaos. Anyway, here's the headline from the New York Times. Justice Department leader suggested violating court orders, whistleblower says. Emil Bove III, a Trump judicial nominee, voiced his intent to disobey court orders as others stonewalled and misled judges. Mr. Bove stressed to all in attendance that the planes need to take off no matter what. This is about the mass deportation effort. According to Mr. Revenese, I have no idea how to pronounce that name, this person's account. Mr. Bove then breached the possibility that a court order would enjoin those removals before they could be effectuated. Quote, Bove stated that DOJ would need to consider telling the courts, fuck you, and ignore any such order, according to the account. This person, whose name I can't pronounce, perceived that others in the room looked stunned, and he observed awkward, nervous glances among people in the room. Silence overtook the room. This is who Republicans are railroading through the nomination, the confirmation process. This is who they're removing all constitutionally mandated advice and consent and just giving Donald Trump everything he wants, anyone he wants into place. He wants to make this guy who said, fuck the courts, he wants to make this guy a federal judge who will absolutely do Donald Trump's bidding. Here is when the chaos erupted. This is Sheldon Whitehouse from Rhode Island ending his statement. Chuck Grassley immediately going to vote and Cory Booker objecting. I'm going to play this to give you the flavor for it. And then I'm going to talk about how Democrats are still not ready for this moment. And I hope this will be the moment that changes that. I hope that Cory Booker, who I sat with just weeks ago for almost a half hour, that this will be that moment that opens his eyes, that the old way of doing things is over. Maybe even I'll show you the end of an interview with him where I ask this very question about this very thing and give you his answer. First, though, Chuck Grassley.
I yield back.
I will now go to voting because we have competing markups and other committees and people have to leave here soon. We'll go to Bove's nomination. The clerk will call the roll.
Mr. Chairman, point of personal privilege.
Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman,
Point of
according to
personal-
Rule 4 of the committee, we have the right to continue to debate this nomination.
No.
I'm invoking Rule 4 of the committee. We have the right to debate this nomination.
You're
And
out of order.
I'm seconding
Mr.
Senator
Chairman.
Booker's demand for a vote on his request to hear from the whistleblower.
Mr. Chairman, You should at least acknowledge my Rule 4 point of order.
You're out of order.
I don't understand this. What are you afraid of about even debating this?
by proxy.
Putting things on the record, hearing from every senator, dear God, that's what our obligations are. It's to state our reasons for debate. At least address the Rule 4 point of order that we're calling. There's no need to rush this. What are we afraid of? We're not pressing for the 2-hour rule like you all did when you were in the minority. We're simply asking for a credible amount of time to air our concerns before the vote. We respect each other in this committee. We respect the understanding that we have things to say. But yet we're doing this in a way that makes no sense to me. And it makes no sense to me because we're not trying to do things like force the committee to close or force a 2-hour rule. This is about understanding that people on this side have a responsibility to state their issues. Mr. Sir, you could call me out of order because this is out of order. This undermines the basic decency of this committee. Yes, maybe overrule a Rule 4, but at least address the Rule 4 point of order that senators were elected to debate issues and debate nominees. This is absolutely insane. What is the rush? Sir, I am interrupting because you're interrupting a regular point of order. At least address my point of order. I have the right to do that by the rules of this committee. If you want to overrule the rules of committee, then do so. But this is not in any way in order. You are obligated to address a point of order according to the rules of this committee. You could overrule me by a Senate vote. You're violating your own rules. The parliamentarian has been clear about this. The parliamentarian has been clear. You could overrule the point of order I'm doing, but you have to follow the precedents and procedures of this committee. This is outrageous that you're not allowing senators to have their fair say before a controversial nominee is being done. This is unbelievable. This is unjust. This is wrong. It is the further deterioration of this committee's integrity. With a person like this, what are you afraid of?
The clerk will call the roll. Get off my lawn, Cory Booker. This went on for several more minutes. I'm not going to play several more minutes of it, but there's like a 40 or a second or a 55 second, a minute or so break, not break, but continuation of the conversation. And then it picked up with Cory Booker. Democrats got up and they left. They're leaving. And Cory Booker continued to appeal to the integrity of Chuck Grassley, of the honor of Chuck Grassley, of the decency of Chuck Grassley, appealing to items of his personality that do not exist. Watch this. Again, there's a timer at the top of the clip. You can scroll through until it's not there, because I do want to show you the exchange that I had face-to-face with Cory Booker on this exact thing.
Sir, this is wrong, and you know it. You are a person of integrity. How could you be doing this? At least have a vote on my point of order. Sir, with all appeals to your decency, with all appeals to your integrity, with all appeals to past jurisdiction and past precedent, why are you doing this? This is outrageous.
This is a kangaroo court. That's all we have here, Mr. Chairman.
This is wrong. To violate your own rules without going by the mandates of the parliamentarian. This is unbelievable. There's a way to do this. If you want to force this through, if you want to ram this through, there's a way to do it in accordance to the rules as spelled out by the parliamentarian. It is simple. It is clear. There's a pathway to achieve what you're trying to achieve. But sir, this lacks decency. It lacks decorum. It shows that you do not want to simply hear from your colleagues. This is absolutely wrong. And sir, this is to me one of those moments where we are not showing common respect for each other on both sides.
That was a clip of Cory Booker not getting it. Look, I like Cory Booker. I respect Cory Booker. I looked in Cory Booker's eyes, and he's a decent man. He is a man, I believe, of integrity. Has he made some choices I would not have made relative to voting for Charles Kushner and other things? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Being a senator, being a politician of that level, I think is a job nobody would relish. But when are they going to start understanding, I guess to put it crassly, that I'm right and they're wrong? Chuck Grassley does not have integrity to appeal to. He does not have decency to appeal to. When are they going to get it? Just weeks ago, I sat in a room across a table from Cory Booker, and I talked about this thing, about the old political order no longer existing. The interview was supposed to be over. He finished a question, Packman wrapped it, and I said, wait, I got one more thing. I want to drill down on this thing. And it was about this topic. And his answer left a lot to be desired. I hope the answer that he gave to me weeks ago and the display that you just watched, I hope it would be different tomorrow. That finally Democrats are waking up to the fact that there is no decency in the Republican Party. There is no integrity. There is no honor. Watch this from a couple weeks ago.
And we've got to get back to having leaders that are more concerned with people than parties.
Senator, thank you so much.
I have one more.
Please.
I love all of that.
Yeah.
But listen, we exist in a new political order. The old way of my good friend across the aisle, it doesn't exist anymore. So when is a bridge too far for elected officials to stop advancing the agenda of Donald Trump?
So, look.
Because we want a good partner in governance, and you don't have that now.
Yeah.
We're not governing if you're bending the knee to, not you specifically.
Right. But I want to address that because it has visited upon me. Like, so I'm trying to anonymize this, but there was something really bad happening to Americans working for government abroad. And I was able to reach out to somebody in the Trump administration that's name's not a necessarily household name, but I had that relationship. I'm not stopping him from doing a lot of this stuff, but the fact that this person knows me to be an honorable person and somebody I supported, even though I don't support the president, I was able to get that reversed. And so I hear people oftentimes saying we need moral absolutism. People want that right now. And I am willing to, I just need to tell folks that what we need is the best strategies to deliver results for people. And we may disagree on tactics, but if we start within our party creating this sense of moral absolutism, it's going to hurt our coalition. Because if everybody in your coalition agrees on everything, your coalition is not big enough.
Wasn't the answer I wanted to hear? I really hope, I don't know, we'll have to see, but that if I ask that question today or tomorrow, he said in the beginning of the interview about being a prisoner to hope or something like that, some poetic thing. And I would hope that is not just an easy excuse to get away with continuing to not hold Republicans accountable, because that's what we're seeing. There is no accountability for Republicans. They can act as unhinged as they please, and there's no consequence. Democrats still act as though they are people of integrity. Joe Biden called Mitch McConnell an honorable man. Mitch motherfucking McConnell. He called Kevin McCarthy an honest man just a couple of years ago. No, they're not. Neither of them are either of those things. But it's this old way of thinking about politics. It's the way that existed when I worked for the United States Senate, when Trent Lott was the Senate Majority Leader. And they acted like Strom Thurmond was a good and decent man. When they acted like Robert Byrd was a good and decent man, Democrat, former KKK member. No, certain things that you do in your life are disqualifying. Anyway, I would absolutely enlist your participation in this conversation. Am I being too radical? I will take it under advisement. If I'm the only one who thinks, yeah, there's still a glimmer of hope at the end of the tunnel of Republicans coming back to reality, coming back to decency and integrity, somebody let me know. You can comment below. You can also call the voicemail line 714-576-4054. And of course, as always, you can email me, daily@dollemore.com. I know this one went a little long. Thanks for bearing with me. If you're still here, I appreciate you. Follow me on social media if you're still here. I am at Dollemore, and I'll see you next time. Be genuine. Take care of one another.